Hi, I'm Simon. Welcome to Habas Kitchen. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make Sag Aloo. So obviously Sag Aloo is an Indian dish and it's usually served as a side dish, and we like to have it alongside our Aubergine Masala, which we've actually made some of today, and we're also about to release a recipe video, hopefully at the same time as this one, so I'll link the two together so you can try them together. So Sag Aloo actually means spinach and potato, so obviously they are our main ingredients, but we'll go through all the ingredients, starting with 1 medium onion, 1 clove of garlic, and it needs to be a minimum of 500 grams of potatoes. They can be any type. And for the spinach, I'm using just an entire bag, which from my local farm shop was 250 grams. I know most supermarkets supply them in 200 grams or 250, so just use a whole bag. Don't be put off by the amount of spinach that's there, it will wilt down. So for the spices, we go with a teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric, and a tablespoon of coriander leaf. Now you can use the leaf out of the jar, or you can chop some fresh coriander, so it just needs to be a tablespoon. There'll be 300 ml of water and 2 teaspoons of vegetable stock powder, or just 1 stock cube if you use a cube. I'm going to start by peeling and dicing the onion. That's the onion done, and now for the garlic. So just peel and finely chop the garlic. So next is potatoes. Now there's no actual need to peel the potatoes, but if you want to, feel free to. I'm just going to cut mine into about 2 centimetre chunks. That's potatoes ready as well. So we're going to get straight on with the cooking. So what we want to do is, using your largest saucepan available, heat 2 tablespoons of oil up to just a medium heat. I'm using coconut oil. As usual, you can use whichever oil you wish to. So they will immediately just start to melt. So the first thing to add is the onions and garlic. So as you probably know, just need to keep all of that moving around the saucepan while you're sautéing it, just so it doesn't stick or start to burn. So sauté that for up to 5 minutes, just long enough for it all to soften and release all of its fragrance. So once that's been sautéing for 5 minutes, it's started to soften up nicely, we can add the spices. So just the 1 teaspoon of cumin, just a teaspoon of ground turmeric, and a whole tablespoon of coriander leaf, not ground. So stir that around straight away there. And you get a nice, good sort of nice base colour. It's a sort of browny yellowy sort of curry-like colour. So almost immediately after you've added those spices and herbs, get those potatoes in there. Now at this point it's really important to make sure the spices and the onions and stuff aren't sticking to the bottom. If they are, just get the 300 ml of water in there straight away. So I'm just going to make sure everything's coated first. So you see all of those potatoes are nicely coated in the herb and spice mixture. So I'm going to get my 300 ml of water straight in there now. Stirring around. So at this point you need to just make sure all your potatoes are fully submerged, because essentially we're going to be boiling them now. They just need to soften up a little bit. So if you don't have enough water in there, just top it up. They don't have to be drowning, just as long as there's no potatoes sticking out the top. And now we can add the stock powder. So just 2 teaspoons of this. This will give us a lovely depth of flavour. As I said, if you're using a stock cube, it's just the 1 cube. So I'm now bringing that up to the boil. Obviously that was cold water in there, so I'm just turning up the heat a little bit just so I can bring it up. So once that's boiling, just need to reduce it down to a simmer and then cover it up and simmer for about 15 minutes or until the potatoes are fork tender. So after the 15 minutes, I'm just going to take the lid off, just give those potatoes a check. That's good, so they're ready. So I'm going to leave it uncovered just for a few minutes, so maybe 2 or 3 minutes, just to let the last of that fluid to start to escape, almost to the point where it's all gone, but not quite. So just while that's boiling off, it's just a case of keep stirring it as well. So I can see now that most of my fluid is gone. I'm going to take the saucepan off the heat. And all I'm going to do now is just add all of the spinach into the saucepan. So this is the reason why you need to use the biggest saucepan that you have available. What I'll probably end up doing is adding a bit first and just stir it through. So you want to try and put the spinach to the bottom of the saucepan, just stir it in amongst the potatoes. And you'll find that the spinach will just shrivel straight away as soon as it hits the heat. So that's why it's important to leave some of the fluid in the bottom. Right, so I'm going to show you a little trick, because what's happened here is most of the fluid is now gone, and whilst it would wilt, it would take a long time. So to wilt the rest of it down, I'm going to show you a little trick. So I'm boiling the kettle, and I'm going to take my colander and the bowl. Obviously you could do this over the sink. So the rest of my spinach is going to go into the colander. And I'm simply going to pour the boiling hot water over the spinach, and that will, you'll see, just immediately shrivel it up. You can see that immediately just shrinking down. So that's nicely shriveled now. I can just go ahead and tip that straight into the Sag Aloo and stir it through. You'll find the longer you leave this, the more the spinach will shrivel. So it is something you can make in advance of dinner. So that's now ready to eat. As I said, you can make it ahead and then sort of cook whatever else you're cooking with it, and then just serve it up. It will keep in the fridge for 3 or 4 days as well. We've actually frozen it once as well. It does lose some of its flavour when you freeze it, but it can still be frozen. So we're going to serve that now with some of the Aubergine Masala, which I mentioned at the start of the video. As I said, I'll leave the link in the description. Please remember to like, subscribe and leave your feedback in the comment section down below. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in another video.